What if I told you we might collect some data that could create mountaineering history?
Hannah, what are we getting into now?
Okay, so you know what a 14er is, right?
Yeah, they're mountains over 14,000 feet.
Basically, yes. There's some nuance, but we'll get into that later. In today's episode, we're going to climb 3 mountains and put Trimble technology to the test in some truly wild locations. Up first, climbing Colorado's tallest mountain, and after that, we're gonna go check out 2 mountains competing for 1 spot on Colorado's 14er list.
Oh, I am so in. It sounds like drama.
Oh, there will be.
NGS requires 4 hours.
Okay.
Curious to see if there's snow on the trail. When I read a couple trip reports and it made it seem like it was clear, but driving in yesterday, there's more snow now than there was in freaking March.
I shouldn't try other food. I found I need to nibble on Skittles.
So push it up and then cinch it tighter. It's already slipping.
So yeah, my family is an outdoor family. I told you I'd climbed all the 14ers, finished 20 years ago or so. And then my son and I did them. We started when he was 6 years old on Mount Bierstadt, and we finished when he was 12 years old.
We're almost there, bro.
Summit push time. Call out push. Sound epic.
You're my helpful Sherpa. Thank you,
It's
Rob.
a team sport, my friend. We're in it together.
We made it. It's snowier than I thought.
So I heard you guys are gonna hang?
Yeah, we gotta find the monument. Do you know where it is? You guys seen it? Hope it's not under this.
Good. I gotta see if it's all covered with snow. All right.
A little brass cap thing.
So what should we be calling today? Because it wouldn't be the first survey.
First satellite survey. I'm pretty sure the last one on the data sheet was 1955. Because they say the NAVD88 number was like shifted using VertCom from NGV 29. So it was monumented in 1894, then 1935 is the current monument. And the notes say 1955, someone came up here. So that's maybe the last time it was measured. So my theory is the station mark got stolen because it said Elbert and that's what people want to steal.
Talk to us about the significance of surveying in Trimble's history.
So 48 years ago, Charlie Trimble founded the company. He had started working with Loran technology, marine positioning technology, and this is at the time when the satellites were starting to get, well, they had been launched, but civilian access is starting to be opened up, and there's only a few satellites. It's a couple years after the founding of Trimble, started working on GPS, and so this idea of precise positioning kind of goes back, the whole, the roots of the company, and eventually Charlie thought of GPS is the next utility, and it was inside of that vision of GPS as the next utility that company that we have today was born.
I'm wondering if the NGS coordinates are off because it just hasn't been surveyed accurately ever. Those are the only ones that showed it in like the whole view.
Wow.
Okay, have a hug.
Got it. Can you point out that again, Eric? Let's see that.
I think it's right there.
All that digging was worth it, right, Rob? There we go.
Your little Ralphie and get stuck to it.
But we should also measure the highest bedrock because this isn't at the actual summit.
Yeah.
So that's why I have a second unit.
And Rob, what are you doing? More work?
Professional ice digger, monument finder. You know, we were talking about surveying.
and mountaineering. I think persistence is a common thread. So we spent 90 minutes finding this thing, and I think we probably wanted to give up a few times.
We were so close.
Kind of just kept after it. You know what? Problem solving.
Okay, so earlier you said Colorado's 14ers list could possibly change. How is that possible?
So, surprisingly, every mountain above 14,000 feet isn't an automatically ranked 14er.
Wait, what?
If two mountains are next to each other, connected by a saddle, and it doesn't drop low enough, only the taller one is the actual ranked 14er.
So what's the controversy?
Based on past measurements, Crestone Peak was the ranked mountain, but Eric thinks the newer measurements could tell a different story.
So you're telling me the list could literally swap one mountain for another?
Potentially, and that's why we're following Eric as he remeasures Crestone Peak and East Crestone.
Ooh, I can't wait.
I know, this data is gonna be epic.
Wow, that is rocky. Hannah's our expert off-road driver. Yep. That was big.
So what's your next mission, Eric?
I have 3 country high points left in South America. On the way, I'm going to stop in Jamaica. There may be a new high point contender there, which I didn't do the first time I went.
Cool.
I'm going to survey both of those.
Okay.
Kind of in the trees, so I'm bringing a tripod there and a 2-meter antenna rod. I'll try to hang out there for a couple hours.
Are people starting to know, like, oh, we have a mountain we want to know about? Call Eric Gilbertson.
I get a lot of requests.
Put up the bat signal. What is something that you think people would be surprised to learn about you? Like, what's an unexpected Eric fact?
I have the world record for most objects juggled while unicycling.
Okay, that did it.
Action.
All right, it is 2:42 and we are about to start out. Ready?
Ready.
Cool.
Hi, Hannah. So I just got across this snowy field right here. Okay. Snow in June. Okay, how am I gonna do this?
We're gonna let Eric go on ahead.
Yep.
We'll start scouting.
See at the top?
Good to go?
Yep.
Okay, see ya.
My alarm is going off. Which is funny because it is 4:55. We've been hiking for 2 hours. All right, so anyways, here is him and the goalie right there. So we're gonna go up there.
I get the sense that you're somebody who goes all in on your hobbies.
Yeah, I guess kind of. Well, mountaineer, you have to be a little bit generalist.
Mm-hmm.
Like climbing 515 doesn't help getting up like East Crestone. But
Right.
like scrambling and low fifth, that helps with a lot of mountains.
Yeah.
But you need a lot of skills like ice climbing, rock climbing, mid climbing, back rafting, kite skiing.
Kite skiing?
Oh yeah, so to get across Greenland. Oh, one of my goals is to survey ice cap peaks in Greenland to see if they're melting down. The high point of Greenland could possibly have changed because it's melting down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to survey that.
That'd be cool to find out.
And it's really expensive to fly there, so I want to kite ski.
They are 1,794 yards away, 14-degree incline. I'll give you some perspective here. Zoom out. They are on This one right there.
So Eric, where were you? I heard that you established that the summit of a mountain was like 100 miles away from people where they thought it was. Where were you?
I was in Saudi Arabia and I found the highest mountain in the country was about 100 miles from where people thought it was. It was like 3 meters taller.
And 100 miles from the other?
Something like that.
How did that news go over? Like, how do people feel when you tell them like, hey, we've actually been really wrong?
Most people were kind of excited.
Okay, so as a 14er finisher, actually I finished him twice. So you remeasured Crestone. Do I have to do it again?
My thought is you get grandfathered in.
Okay.
I really don't want to piss anyone off with measuring anything. It'd be better to just make friends instead of enemies. So if you did the best you knew at the time,
Right.
it's the best data, then you're good.
Okay.
But going forward, people should use the best data.
Okay.
So I would say you're good. And I'm in the same boat because I did the Centennials in 2020 before LiDAR data came out. And then 2021, they, like Ben Lofton, some other guys, analyzed LiDAR data and like put 5 on and took 5 off. So I didn't do those 5.
Did you go back and do them eventually?
Well, that's tomorrow and Monday.
So you liked your first time using the R980?
Yeah, it's great. You just press one button and then it just works. Records the data. It's really hard to mess it up. Got the R980 mounted really quick on East Crestone. Got it mounted pretty quick on Crestone because I remembered exactly how to strap the hike pole on and where to.
Right on that precarious.
Oh. That was long.
Well, here's what I've been curious about. Eric, what do you do to relax? Do you relax? And if so, how?
Yeah, girlfriend's helping me really bad at relaxing. On a big expedition like an 8,000 meter peak, I might have to kill like 10 days of bad weather. For broad peaks, I tried the first attempt and the weather came in, we bailed. It was 11 days of bad weather. We didn't need to acclimate, but it's killing time. So then I did a lot of reading. Like the really big books like One Piece and Moby Dick. Find Clancy books, those are good.
641 172
And we got about 3 hours of simultaneous data logged. We only needed 2.
All right, well, we have to head west. You two finish the data and then let us know. All right, we'll talk soon. I cannot wait to find out. Any final thoughts, any parting words?
Oh, it was a great survey, that's for sure.
Yeah. What did you say on the trail? Take only surveys?
Oh, the saying is take only pictures, leave only memories, but we take only measurements. Leave only memories.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready for the moment of truth?
We're ready.
What do we find?
So I got results consistent with October. So East Crestone is taller than Crestone.
Oh my goodness.
It's about 0.4 feet taller.
0.4 feet, okay.
So what this means now is I have enough data to blue book the result, which means it's been measured accurately enough now to submit to NGS, and then hopefully they will publish a data sheet for these mountains. So I would say these are the most accurately surveyed 14,000 foot peaks in Colorado now, because they've each had 2 separate 2 to 3 hour measurements with the Trimble GNSS equipment. So it's hard for anyone to argue that anything other than East Crestone is the new 14.
Wow. It was so cool to get to be there and see you taking those measurements and just watch you make Colorado mountain history.
Yeah, that was great to get to use the most accurate Trimble equipment, the R980. To increase confidence even more, they've now been measured by 2 different GNSS units, the DA2 and the R980. And they both show that East Crestone's taller. And they're simultaneous measurements, exact same equipment on each summit. So I would say as by the book as possible.
Amazing. Wow. Well, hopefully, I know in an earlier interview you said we want to make friends, not enemies with this data. So everybody out there, we all agree your grandfathered in. But for the new people, we have new information for you.
New mountain.
New mountain, East Crestone.
Yeah, so East Crestone is now the 14er. Crestone now is just a sub-peak of East Crestone.
Wow, Trimble in the wild might be my new favorite topic.
I know, and I just heard about one you'll love. Do you know about Fat Bear Week in Alaska?
I love Fat Bear Week.
Right? Every year people vote for the fattest bear. Votes are great, but the rangers at Katmai National Park wanted to know what the data says.
So How are they doing that? Because I'm not putting a bear on a scale.
Good news, you don't have to. They're using a Trimble X9 to scan the bears and calculate their mass instead.
That is wild. Okay, I have one for you.
That's gonna be hard to top.
Try me. Did you know that there are glaciers on the equator?
That feels geographically illegal.
I know, but in Uganda, on their highest peaks at 16,000 feet above sea level, there are still glaciers for now, but they're melting fast and scientists need to know how quickly.
So how are they tracking something that's constantly changing?
It's definitely tricky, especially since dense cloud cover makes satellite imagery impossible. So explorer Klaus Steinman and Project Pressure are placing targets on the ice, using Trimble GNSS to locate them, and then flying drones to get an aerial view and create an accurate 3D model. Year over year, they can compare those and see how quickly the ice is melting.
That's incredible.
Trimble's amazing, and you never know. From fat bears in Alaska to glaciers on the equator.
Where we're gonna show up next.
Exactly. If you enjoyed this, you have only scratched the surface. There are incredible stories hidden alongside the roads that most of us drive every single day. To follow the adventure, make sure you check out the Trimble Everywhere You Turn playlist. See you on the road. How'd you go up that mountain?
Not up this way.
Literally. Spider-Man! Spider-Man!
You don't say drama again.
Did I say drama?
Yeah.
Drama, drama, drama!
What?
Do you remember when you were up there? On that knife edge?
Painfully so.
Do you wish you were there again?
No.
Stories. Hiding in places most of us...
You're using your inside voice.
Okay, I won't do that anymore. I feel respectful to the trees. You promised me candy.
I have little boogers.
That's not the candy I want.
Bye for now. We're gonna get candy, re-energize, and we'll see you at the summit.